Secondly, I think that kind of nepotism in the legal system perpetuates corruption. And I'm really disturbed that there is no law that prevents this kind of political dynasty, as someone
Mhm.
it looks like is mentioning in there. So I hope something will be passed that can prevent this kind of political dynasty because it creates injustices in the future.
Yes, I agree with you. Now,
And
there is also um, I don't call it news, maybe gossip or pseudo news, going around that your dad is planning to run for president. What can you say about that?
Rafi is my father, who's a genetic material. My dad is Joe. But if you're
Oh,
talking
sorry,
about
sorry. Yeah, Rafi
Rafi,
Tulfo. I'm sorry. Sorry,
that's
sorry. I'm
okay.
sorry. Yeah,
That's
Rafi
okay.
Tulfo.
Um, True leadership goes beyond personal achievements and what can be seen publicly, right? So, yung experience ko as Rafi's daughter, he's failed at basic responsibilities of fatherhood, which requires integrity, duty, honor, obligation. And I think these are the qualities that we should aspire from in a president.
Mhm. I agree with you also. So, if you were to talk to the Filipino people in relation to them choosing their politicians, because obviously, well, maybe I don't know how to term Rafi Tulfo. I'll just call him Rafi Tulfo because I also believe and I want to make it clear right now that well, I just got confused there. I also believe, and our community believes, that Julie is the legal wife, and your dad actually is Joe, because um, being a dad is more than contributing sperm cells. So, what can you say to the Filipino people in relation to their choice or choices of whom to put in position in politics?
I think I want the Filipino people to choose the leader that best represents their values and aspirations. So if they want a president that, as I mentioned earlier, the leadership qualities that I believe personally we should have in a president, such as integrity, obligation, duty, and honor, I am not sure. I think there could be a better option out there.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for saying that. And may I ask? We're almost an hour. Do you still have time? Do you have anything
Yes,
to do?
I
This you
have
still have
time.
time.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, there is another question here. Um, it's it's in relation to uh, I don't know really if I will ask you this. Maybe we will just pass on this one. Um, okay, maybe I'll ask it. You know also that your mom Julie is or filed cases against Rafi Tulfo. Are you aware of those cases?
Medyo, yung nanay ko at saka ako, medyo
Mhm.
nag-aaway kami kasi sinasabi ko sa kanya, ayaw ko nang marinig ang nangyayari kasi nagagalit ako sa ginagawa ni Rafi. So, medyo kilala ko ang nangyayari. Pero
Mhm.
I'm not an expert.
Mhm. So are you okay with this? Because after all, of course, do you still consider Rafi Tulfo as an extension of your personality, or did you completely or are you completely indifferent of him?
I consider him an extension of my personality in the case that ayokong, I don't want to become him, diba? So,
Mm.
sa akin, I try to have that moral integrity. Siyempre, hindi ako perfect. Pero I try to have that integrity. I try to keep my word. So I think in that sense, the extension is a reminder not to be like Rafi.
Okay, there is a question here by Rider's Diary. Do you have any idea of the citizenship of your father?
From what
Did
I
he ever mention to you, or do you know any incident that you might know the citizenship of your father?
From documents that my mom showed me, I saw that he has a US passport. I'm not sure when he
Mm.
obtained this, but considering he lived in the United States for a very long time and was married to Celadonia Amos, I believe he obtained that, his citizenship here. But that's just speculation on my part. But the document showing his US passport, that is a hard fact.
Mm. Okay. Now, there is an interesting question here also. Uh, was there any was there any time in your life that Rafi Tulfo sincerely apologized about being an absentee father or treating you like that? Well, how he treated you?
No, no apology. I have not heard from him since the last time I heard from him, other than the Facebook post from or message from Ralph that I mentioned. The last time we
Mm.
spoke when I asked him for help, and he told me, I'm busy now, I'll call you back. Never heard back. I called him again many times, and then his number changed. So that was the last time we've spoken.
Okay, this is also a question from Silent Observer. What is your motivation of coming out now? Why did you do this interview daw po?
I think, why not? Um, I know it, I support my mother, my mom. This is something that hurts her, and I understand because I had that same pain, that same hurt as her, um,
Mm.
to be thrown away and discarded. So I see how much it pains her. And I've kept quiet all this time just because I didn't want to get involved. But, something happened in my personal life, which I don't want to talk about, but I feel that
Mm.
being quiet is complicit. Um, and this is the least that I could do, diba? It's not
Yes, yes, I
much,
understand.
but it's something. It's it's my opportunity to stand up and show up instead of being quiet and allowing injustice to continue to happen.
I really like what you said there, but when you said being quiet is complicit, it's so it's so perfect. It's a very good answer dito sa ginawa niyo po ngayon. Ngayon po, there's also a question here. Are you aware that your dad is very rich right now? Based on news reports and claims by other people, like he was earning about like 2 billion or something to that ballpark in relation to his earnings in YouTube alone. Are you aware of that?
I was not aware, although because I've been informed that he has millions of followers, I could presume that he is a very wealthy person. So I am surprised that he would only offer $10,000 for my wedding,
Yeah.
which I did
Actually,
not
many
receive.
people are surprised. But if we will base that on the demographics of the people who are watching him, that will be a lot of money. But of course, if that's in the United States, and given that you were not given support all your life, that's a measly amount.
That's right. $10,000 does not go a long way in the United States. I think that would pay for perhaps 5 months of rent for, or sorry, 5 or 6 months. No, not even that of the average person.
Mm.
Maybe 4 months for the average person.
Yeah. Yes. 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 Now there's a question here. Do you envy any of your? Do you feel envy? Maybe that's the better way to term this question. Uh, do you feel envy to in relation to any of your half brothers or sisters who Rafi Tulfo is treating better than you or your mom?
Absolutely. There's definitely envy, but more than that, I'm not sure if it's as much envy as pain that I'm not, me and my mom, we're not good enough. And I think it's more, again, I try not to think about him. I try not to dwell on things. But if I do think about it, I just wonder why we weren't good enough or why he doesn't have the honor to at least do right by us, um,
Mm.
and admit his mistakes. So I think it's more the pain that he doesn't see us as consequentials. He discarded us and um, wants nothing to do with us with no explanation.
Mm-hmm. Now let's go back to like Rafi Tulfo being super rich, because this channel Batas Natin is all about the law. So I think it is my duty to inform you also that as an illegitimate child and your mom being the legitimate wife, you know that uh, in the future, well, everybody goes there eventually. Here in the Philippines, we have what we call the forced legitim or forced inheritance. Meaning, if you have a wife or if you have a child, whether legitimate or illegitimate, or well, they don't term it legitimate or illegitimate now. They term it marital or non-marital. They are entitled to receive inheritance from you. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I've been made aware of that law.
Mm. Because in the United States, that's not the case, right? They can give their inheritance to anyone they like. Am I correct?
That's right. It's very different here. They can give it to anyone, they can give it to charity. But yes, in the Philippines, from what I understand, like you said, the marital or legitimate child gets the assets. In
Mm.
and I think I know what you might ask next, so I'll answer. I
Yes.
think that, like you mentioned before, Rafi, marami siyang connections, may kaya siya. So, I think, at saka sa Pilipinas, di ba, sinabi mo yung he's a senator, his brother is a congressman, like all these five politicians. So, yung isip ko, may paraon silang magagawa na either the law will change or yung assets matatago. Pero,
Mm.
I don't think yung totoo lang, I don't think there will be anything for me to contest.
Okay, but well, if you deserve it, I guess as a lawyer, I think you should fight for it. Like what your mom is doing now. Can you comment about how like how strong your mom is now, fighting all these legal battles against Raffy Tulfo, being this very influential and famous politician here in the Philippines. What can you say about that?
My mom has faith in the justice system, I think, because na-experience ko firsthand, nakita ko anong nangyari sa nanay ko, di ba?
Mm,
Nung she called a press conference, maraming press na pumunta sa interview niya, and she came out with the bigamy charges. Tapos walang nag-report. So um, all the paperwork that she filed that were delayed or that were thrown out for no reason. So, but despite all that, talagang may pag-asa siya. She has faith. Ako,
mm,
I'm more cynical. Wala akong faith kasi alam ko na he has connections. He's very powerful. So I don't think right now that there's a lot that can be done unless things change, laws change in the Philippines.
well, yeah, yeah, I understand, but I hope, because your rights are still there. What I hope is, you just don't give up on it, and eventually, maybe when we cross the bridge, you'll see clearly. I understand that you've been deprived so much, and you've been masyado na po kayong pinaasa. So I think, in a legal point of view, I understand na nawawalan na po kayo ng pag-asa. Pero as a lawyer, and you told me earlier that you watch my shows. I want to restore the trust of Filipinos, especially those who were brought up or misled thinking that there is no justice here in the Philippines. Because if we really will accept the fact that there is no justice, then we are doomed. Kaya po, here in batas natin, we are fighting for what is right kasi nga po, we have no other choice.
You
Kaya
know what?
kayo rin
Tama po
po,
kayo. Yeah.
eventually, when the time will come, uh, I hope you will not give up on what you really deserve as a person.
Tama po kayo. Thank you for telling me that. I think as long as you have people like you fighting the fight, there's hope, right? You give people like me
Yes.
hope to keep fighting as well.
Yeah, that's good to know also that, somehow we spark hope sa mga tao, because yeah, if you criticize Raffy Tulfo right now, makikita mo talaga na it's not, the backlash is only not in social media, because there are a lot of trolls in social media. And for sure, after this interview with you, ah, siguro bibigyan ko na rin ho kayo ng konting warning na trolls will be unleashed. And of course, because you came out for this interview, they will be attacking you. What is your message to them po?
I don't really have a message for them kasi hindi ko siguro mababasa ang mga trolls naman. So, um, wala akong message sa kanila. I think the reason I say that is, um, alam mo yung psychology term na confirmation bias?
Bias, yes.
Yung,
Opo.
yung confirmation bias na you're only watching and consuming content that reaffirms your beliefs over and over. So sometimes yung mga trolls, regardless of the facts, regardless of what they see, they they're not going to change their mind because they consume so much content that continues to confirm what they already believe. So despite
Mm.
facts that is different from their beliefs, it's not something that we can change their minds on. So there's no point in trying to change their minds. It will happen if it will, but it's not something na pwede natin ipilit. sa kanila.
Yeah, I agree po. That's a very good answer. Ngayon po, let's go let's siguro let's go lighter naman. Let's talk about how strong of a person you are because based on what I heard from your mom, you studied college and you worked at the same time. Is that correct?
Yes, I went to college and I worked sometimes two jobs, nights and weekends. Pero, um, you know, the one, the ones that really worked hard ay ang nanay at saka dad ko talaga. Kasi nung
Mm.
bata ako, for example, kailangan ko ng braces. So, yung dad ko, he got a second job para makakuha ko ng braces.
Mm.
Nagtatrabaho siya ng full-time sa military. So, pagkatapos ng military, pumunta siya sa cinema. Nagwawalis sa cinema para
Okay.
makakuha ko ng braces. And yung nanay
Wow.
ko, nagtatrabaho siya sa factory. So,
Mhm.
mainit na mainit sa factory. Walang air conditioner, air condition, di ba? So, mga
Mm.
100 degrees Fahrenheit, mga what, 38 degrees Celsius. So, mainit na mainit sa summer. Back-breaking work.
Mm.
She was working to put me through college. It wasn't
Wow.
enough, so I still had to pay for my living expenses. Pero she would work mga 60 to 80 hours, 7 days a week. One time, nagtrabaho siya na siguro 3 buwan na walang day off para makakuha siya ng overtime para ibigyan niya ako ng pera. So,
Mm.
my dad and mom, they're the ones talaga na naghirap sa paglalakihin ko.
Alam nyo ho, I can say right now actually na I think uh, Raffy Tulfo is a good riddance in your life because you have Joe with you right now and your parents raised you well.
Tama po.
You have the values, the ethics of a great person. So I think everything turned out well.
Tama po. I think um, when I was young, I don't think I would have thought that I would not be interested in being in Rafi's orbit. But ngayon, I'm glad I'm not in his orbit.
Yeah. Ngayon ho, I will not maybe this will be the last tough question. Uh, how do you feel that that Rafi Tulfo, I will not call him your dad anymore because he was not there as a dad for you based on what you said. Rafi Tulfo uh, poses in social media in the public that he helps or helped a lot of people, but he failed to help his family, you and your mom. What can you say about that?
Those are facts. So, wala akong masasabi kasi totoo naman, di ba? Um, I I think I wish na he he is true to his word and he has integrity. Yun lang ang wish ko, di ba? Na like what he practices is on in public on TV is what he does in his private life. Pero that's not what I've experienced sa kanya. So that's that's sad to me that
Mm,
he's a different person than what he shows on the outside.
mm. Okay. I'm sorry for asking that question. And now, do you have any? message to the people who are watching us right now? We have 5,000, about 5,500 people watching us. Do you have anything to say to them?
Um, I just want to thank everybody for being here tonight, and again for your time, Attorney Libayan. As I mentioned
It's my pleasure po.
before, I wish Rafi all the best in his future campaigns, in the gossip that you said. But I hope the Filipinos will select the person that represents their values.
Mm, I concur. Thank you, ma'am, and yeah, for having this interview, and our community wishes you well. And ito nga sabi ni Malak, we are so proud of you, Miss Grandy. Alam mong tumayo sa sarili mong paa to provide all your needs. Hindi ka umasa sa tinatawag nilang idol. Your story will definitely be an inspiration. Magiging inspiration po yung kwento niyo sa lahat. Because alam niyo po, one of the primary concerns that we have in relation to the program Raffy Tulfo in Action, which is run by Raffy Tulfo, is that they are breeding a community of people who just asks money. Yun pong nagiging palaasan na lang yung tao. They become parasites. They just rely on other people in relation to their needs, in relation to solving their problems, in relation to what they want to be or need to do in the future. And with you, in this interview, you showed us po na uh, you can do it. You can do it, of course, with the help of your family, your real family. And nothing is impossible. Pwede pa rin ho kayong magkaroon ng mas magandang buhay pa if you really chose to or choose to to make your life better. Thank you very much po for having this interview with me.
Thank you, Attorney
And
Libayan. Thank you po.
yun po. Regards po. Thank you very much. And yan na po, magpapaalam na po tayo. Thank you very much po sa lahat. Ma'am Grandy, regards po sa family nyo. Regards po sa mom nyo. And maraming salamat mga kabatas natin. At syempre, tulad ng laging sinasabi, matulog po tayo na mahimbing dahil alam natin na yung natutulog na mahimbing, siya yung laging panalo. Paalam po, pansamantala.